I'm Michael Hiatt. Recently I had the opportunity to invite some people back who were responsible for the design of this extraordinary home. Starting with Mr. Bob Ray Offenhauser.
It looks very good. It's very gratifying to come back and see something, look good. Sometimes they don't.
Billy Rose, Executive Director, Architectural Division.
This entry really gives you a wonderful sense of arrival. This is a great indication of Offenhauser's use of scale and proportion. I mean, these are towering ceilings. These must be 30 feet tall.
When you come in to a sizable foyer, as this is, with its height and its balcony and a lot of architecture, and you look into the different rooms, I mean, you get enthused. You say, this is interesting. It's just open, and people respond to it.
Offenhauser does bring in some really grand scale, which does give you an impressive nature, but it's not so imposing that you can't feel it as a place to live. There's a sense of both a formality, but yet a casualness and intimacy that makes it feel like a home.
These houses can be intimidating. I mean, they're very grand, and we did want, first and foremost, that when guests were here, that they would be comfortable.
I like the scale of the fixtures. They're very prominent, and I think they work well within a space that does have great scale and proportion.
I mean, even though it's so large and ceilings are so tall, I think it's very intimate. All the rooms, and they're all very big, but I really think the scale was the most important thing here.
There's a quietness of mind when you have symmetry, and you can see this wonderful symmetry all working off of this center line of the house here as we work through the front doors, passing through the living room and straight out to the pool and the yard. The symmetry in this house is actually quite wonderful.
That's just how I design. It's soothing, I think. Ultra-modern architects, they don't like that. They don't like the symmetry. They think it's too classical of the past, which is fine.
The foyer is lined up with the living room, is lined up with the terrace. It is spectacular and great design.
Symmetry,
of course.
Scale is...
That's what the architect's intent was. We tried to line up different axes when we could. We did line the pool up, and I think that was the architect's intent from the start, is symmetry.
I think it honors the architecture quite well, and I love what they've done here with this space, really making this a very spacious pool area, and the cabana is a wonderful feature. Offenhauser really does bring in light through both walls of glass and through skylights very well. That retractable skylight's fantastic, the amount of light that brings in, and now of course the natural air that will bring in as well. And there's also a great feng shui to the circulation of a house. Offenhauser is very accomplished at blurring the lines between the indoors and outdoors, and with those floor-to-ceiling walls of glass and doors and windows has achieved that here as well.
I thought, it's such a classic Brentwood, Beverly Hills movie star house. It was so glamorous.
Offenhauser likes to work with classic Mediterranean architectural styling here, but definitely infusing the more classic architecture with a modernist approach.
Dane, you and Offenhauser talk the same language. He liked the subtlety of the color that you brought to it.
Originally, it was more of a stone color, which made it look a little more mellow. Now, being it's a nice white, it's a soft white, but it makes it look in a way a little more contemporary than it did before. It's clean. See, there's no baseboard, no moldings. It's actually a very modern house when you think of it. It doesn't look that way because of the way it's furnished and the mellowness of it.
I'm using the term classic.
Yeah,
modern.
no, that's what I would call it. Definitely classic modern, right? Because it is very classic. And it is modern.